Quick demo on the Accountr application. First, before we go into Accountr, one thing to note is in the Settings app, Accountr Settings, you scroll down, you'll start to see applications down at the bottom you've installed. Accountr has settings in here, so if you click here, here's where you can enter your Google credentials if you're going to be exporting to Google Documents. There's category scope. Here you can have categories set up for each account by default, or have your categories across all accounts. We're going to change those to all accounts. And then auto clear, if you're interested in reconciliation, you can turn auto clear off, so you have to manually clear transactions. And show details, there's two different displays currently for transactions. One of them has the more detail where you can see the payee, a note, check number if applies. We're just going to leave that on. We want to see more detail. So I'll get out of here and I'll actually launch the Accountr application. It shows up blank here. All you start out with the main account. You got spend for adding negative amounts and earn for adding positive amounts. First thing we can do, we can rename that main account to something meaningful. There's additional settings you can hit with this blue arrow at the top right hand corner. Click that. Maybe. You'll notice you can manage accounts. There's a reset budget date. This is your starting budget date. Export data, and then an option to set a PIN number for extra security. We'll go to manage accounts. We'll click main. That's our main account that's already set up. We can rename this to checking. Hit save. You can go ahead and hit the plus sign to add another account, savings. Now if we back out, hit done, we've got checking account now at the top. If we click that, that's how we'd switch accounts. Both of them have zero balance, the total is zero, so we click back on checking. Now when you first start Accountr, you don't have any categories or subcategories set up. So at first it might be a little cumbersome, but once you have everything set up, it's easy to add transactions. We'll start with spend. As you can see, there's no categories. We hit the plus sign to add categories. We're going to add a category called bills, just to be general. Here you would probably do like utilities, entertainment, stuff like that. So we'll just do a general bills, a budget of 1,000, and then we're going to have subcategories turned on, but there is an option to turn subcategories off. So right now we see a bills category. We set $1,000 budget. We have a zero amount. That means we've spent zero underneath this category. We have 1,000 left over. If I click this blue arrow, I can go back in and change those settings at any time. Otherwise, if I just click on the category, I move on to the subcategory screen, since I chose that this category has subcategories. So I'll hit the plus sign, and I'll do water, electric, we'll do cable, and then now we can go to move on and add one of these bills. We can just say cable, and then we can start entering amount 60. This zero over here, this will display like the last value I've entered for this category subcategory combination. It's zero because it hasn't been used yet. The date, I can hit this if I want to back date it or forward date it. I can hit check number, a payee, Time Warner, and then I can have a memo. my TV, hit save, and then there's my category. It's blue because it's not cleared, so we can clear that by going into reconciliation mode by hitting this action button at the top left hand corner. There's an option for reconciliation mode. Now I would only see transactions that are uncleared. Well, I've only got one transaction, it's uncleared. I can touch it to clear it. Now all transactions are cleared. I've got a clear total that matches my main balance. To go back, I can either reselect reconciliation mode, otherwise there's a shortcut. If you hit the cleared amount, it bounces you back. We'll set up an earn category. And we'll just turn subcategories off for this since I only have one paycheck. I'll click that. One click moves me right to the amount screen, skipping the subcategory screen. Hit save. There's my amount. Positive amounts will show up green. I'll just add a few more. And then we'll go ahead and do a transfer amount by clicking the action button. Transfer. It automatically knew I was in my checking account and I've only got one other account, so it selected my savings account, and I'm going to transfer $100 to my savings account. To savings, account transfer $100, and if I flip over to my savings, I'll see there's one transaction for $100. So that's a brief overview of Accountr.